What's up, everyone? Welcome to another exciting Art of War video. I'm Con Lennon, here with the one and only Jack Harpster.
Jack Templars.
Jack Bears? I don't know, man.
Jack Bears?
The Jack Bears? No?
I don't.
Read a book about it. Alright, we are here with another...
Get out of my face.
We're here with another Horus Heresy video. This time we are focusing on my favorite legion, the White Scars. So I have with us the Liber Astartes, so we can go through the entirety of the 5th Legion. So, Jack, you may want to pay attention. This is going to be your primary opponent here.
It is.
You're gearing up your word bearers. Obviously, I just had to choose a loyal legion in the face of such unforgivable heresy. And who better than the entirely all-the-time loyal White Scars?
This isn't like a Dark Angels thing, is it?
No, it's not. It's not. It's not, because we got them back. We got them back.
Are those the people you put into the Terminator armor and then throw them at people? Like
Dang right we do.
Giant catapult?
Yeah, look, we told them they were wrong, and they're like, nah, you're right.
And then you're like...
Yeah, so, you know, the heresy started. The White Scars, they were kind of hanging out on the edges. You know, they're fast, so they don't really stay in the middle. They go to the corners of the galaxy.
And the Knicks of the world.
They might have found out a little bit late that the heresy was happening. They were the last one to find out. There's like a solid
awkward.
Yeah, there's like a solid year where they're just like running around killing orcs. How many vroom vroom noises? You're gonna be hearing all of them. Yeah, don't even worry around. We will be having so many vroom vroom noises as I'm driving around in my Outriders, my speeders. So anyway, so the White Scars are on the outside of the galaxy. Maybe don't hear about this when it first happens. And they'd always been friends with the Sons of Horus because, you know, Con and Horus, they're buddy. And you know, they're fast. The White Scars spread out as legion. So a lot of them heard about it before Khan did, and they're like, oh, well, I mean, Horus has always been nice to us. We should team up with Horus. And then they go to Jagged Icon and they're like, hey, we've gone ahead and talked with our friends and the Sons of Horus, and they're down too. Are you down? And he's like, you didn't ask me first. Cuts off their heads.
Oh.
Yeah, no, you don't go behind the Khan's back.
No,
he likes
apparently.
to be first, and if you try to go there first, he's like, absolutely not. So cut off a couple of people's heads, and the rest of them were like, okay.
It's a bit of an overreaction.
They did renounce.
Would say.
They did renounce their vows to the Emperor, and the only just punishment for that is the Emperor's peace, death.
Is that
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what that is. But the rest of the White Scars who had maybe gone a little bit traitor for a couple of months, they're like, okay, so we messed up. How do we make it up? And Khan's like, you know what? Funny you should ask. We've got so many Terminator plates and just so many bullets to catch.
Yeah, and you're gonna do all of that.
You're gonna solve all my needs at once.
And that's the Eben Keshig I've been
That's
hearing so much
that's
about.
the Eben Keshig that you'll continue to hear about. We're gonna have some of those coming up. But let's go ahead and break down their rules. You ready for this?
I'm born ready.
All right, White Scars are fast, Jack. That's what you need to know. So, here's what happens. Whenever I roll a dice for the first turn or to seize the initiative, I can just go ahead and roll 2 dice and kind of choose which one I use. White Scars go fast.
Yeah, they do.
And White Scars add 1 to their movement characteristic in all cases.
So you're going to go first a lot.
I'm going to go first
and you're going to go fast a lot.
A lot. Yeah?
Seems good. Seems flavorful.
I think statistically the best thing you can hope for is to roll a seize yourself.
No.
It's not, but it's close. It's closer than I like. Because if you go first somehow, then I've got 2d6 chance to seize. Like,
which is like a 1 in 3.
I'll do it. Vroom vroom vroom. Here we go.
I am excited to consistently have hope snatched away from me. I'm born ready.
Good. I'm born in the saddle. So the +1 move is obviously very awesome because going fast wins games. We always say it. Speed and movement wins games. An army that is built around speed and movement is going to have a pretty decent strength.
It's also just fun to move fast.
It's also fun to move fast. It's unfortunately not quite advanced in charge, but it's still pretty good. And what I also love is that +1 move often takes units to break points of getting pluses to charge. And that's just really important because, sometimes like your jump pack unit moves 12 inches and you're like, this is a pretty good speed. But what if I moved 13 instead? Oh, I get an entire extra +1 to charge in addition to that. So when you're trying to get into combat, it's basically +2 to your total movement.
Seems good.
Seems pretty powerful.
Seems pretty good. Seems pretty good.
Yeah. So going through it then, let's hit that advanced reaction. So the advanced reaction that White Scars have access to, this is the only one This is the one that they can release once per game. Same as the Legions.
It's called
Chasing the Wind. Jack, have you ever chased the wind before?
Many a time in my life. Never successful.
Never caught the wind. The real Disco Boy is right. White Scars are the best chapter and the best Legion. Word bears aren't even a chapter. I don't want to hear it.
I legally have to sit through this.
Yeah, you do. It's part of his contract. So Chasing the Wind is the advanced reaction where once per game, when you, my foolish opponent, ends a move within 12 inches of a White Scars unit, then just all friendly units composed entirely of models of the Legion Astartes White Scar special rule within 12 inches of that enemy unit's final position may immediately make a normal move. And they can't run, but they can activate the jump packs.
But can they hide?
They can hide if they are so inclined. And it's just all White Scars. It's not even like infantry. Just all White Scars. Just make some moves. So if you want to not get charged once per game, you could be like, absolutely not. If you perhaps don't like being in line of sight, boy, do I have a reaction for you. It's only once per game, but movement trickery is extremely powerful, and it just helps that they move a little bit faster.
It's like when there's a lot of birds, right? And they're all like eating bird stuff.
Yeah, you know,
out there like seeds.
Someone left like a bag of Doritos on the ground.
Right, and all the birds are clustered around, and they're all doing stuff. And then you run into the center of the birds, and they all scatter.
Yeah, like an excited toddler.
It's like you turn the lights on, right? And then all the bugs.
Well, like you always see, like, you know, like a little toddler, perhaps Lorgar, like chasing birds, but you never see them catch them.
Mm-hmm. That's what we're going with?
I think that's what that's the analogy we're leading off with here.
Checks out.
So this is, of course, pretty powerful. It combos well. So there is a reaction in the normal book, just a base reaction where you can move one unit. The fact that this is all means that it's very difficult to pin down a lot of White Scars at once if you're trying to charge them.
It's also, I believe, says you can just move. Whereas the normal one, you have to move directly away or towards them.
Correct. I could do, Nergomat in the chat. I could do trickery like moving on to objectives, moving, you know,
things that exist.
Yeah, well, yeah, there are objectives in some of these missions. And some missions. Some. You know, it'd be powerful though to move like a line outrider squad though.
Yeah, for sure. Like, and you can move a whole bunch of things. So at some point during the game, you're like, this thing is moving closer so I can charge you. This thing is moving further back so I don't get charged.
Yeah.
And it's going to be really annoying.
All right. So let's move on right through these warlord traits. So we've got 3 warlord traits as is pretty normal. Heroes Never Die is
Heroes Never Die.
Heroes Never Die. I don't know why that's on White Scars, but that's a good name. Heroes Never Die. So this one is for loyalist only. Weird that they would make that distinction. This warlord trait may only be selected by a loyalist, and the warlord and any unit they're in gain stubborn. And if the warlord is removed as a casualty, then everyone who is in line of sight of the warlord when he's removed as a casualty gain fearless. So basically, he's like kind of inspiring while he's around, but then if he dies, everyone's like, oh man, like Joe, what a great guy. I will fight on his honor.
And then Mercy reses the whole squad. And
then Mercy reses exactly play of the game. And of course you can get an additional reaction in the assault phase while you have the warlord alive. Yeah. So not bad. I actually
not bad. Good leadership.
Good leadership buffs are actually kind of important because that comes up shockingly a lot with the amount of pinning and low leadership in the game.
Yeah, it is great that like your entire army gains fearless when he dies, as long as they can see him.
Yeah, and
they get it for the rest of the battle because they're like, that dude didn't run away. Like, why would I?
Yeah. Like, do I want to just have my warlord just like leave the squad he's in and just charge straight into the Galvor back? Like, is that what I want to do?
Probably not. Maybe if he's in Terminator armor, like he deserves it.
Yeah.
But then he isn't really a hero.
And is he even a hero then?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it is cool. Mm-hmm. Maybe on a guy with a death wish, you give this to him and be like, all right, buddy, do your thing. Like,
yeah, use him as like a one-time combat threat. Like you could do something cool to justify this hero never dying.
Well, twice. I feel like heroes never die is kind of a misnomer. This hero's gonna die every game.
Every game. All right, next up is Born to the Saddle. This warlord and all models in the same army with Legion Astartes and cavalry ignore the effects of difficult terrain, and they get a 4-up invuln against dangerous terrain.
And that's the whole army.
Yeah.
So he like teaches them how to ride.
Yeah, but it's all cavalry, so it's basically just bikes and like speeders. Yep, and of course you get an extra reaction in the movement phase. So I like the extra reaction in the movement phase because if your opponent likes trying to get up to charge you, you can use the one reaction to move away one unit. But then if they ever then commit to a big combat, you can do that in one spot and then chasing wind on the other. So I like having the extra reaction in the movement phase. This is probably the one that I want to go with.
Yeah, just it lets your army, go through terrain, which feels nice.
It does, yeah. You see, I've been playing so much 9th edition that I don't want to remember what difficult terrain does, so I'm not going to have to.
My favorite thing ever, and a thing that will not happen to you if you have this warlord trait, favorite thing ever was every Eldar player I ever played against had 4 or 5 squads. This is 6th and 7th edition. 4 or 5 squads of 3-man scat bikes.
Yep.
Right? Just 3-man little idiots that would hide the entire game and then run onto every objective. And they were obnoxious, and I hated them so much.
Yep.
And then they also shot you a bunch because lol Eldar.
Of course, Eldar.
Yeah, lol Eldar. So my favorite thing was they would move them on from reserves. They would put them behind. They would put them in terrain. They would take a dangerous terrain check.
And they'd lose.
They would lose a guy. Then they would fail morale and run right back off the board again. It happened every other game into Eldar, and it was delicious. Sorry, continue. That sparked a great memory in me.
It's great joy for you.
Yes.
So next up is the Forgotten Sons. This is the traitor only one. It's so strange that they've all come home, I'm sure. Whose warlord has this trait includes an allied detachment. So if you have this warlord trait and a Sons of Horus allied detachment, then the warlord in any unit that he joins automatically pass morale or pinning checks, as long as they let's see, without any dice being rolled, as long as at least one friendly unit with Legion Astartes Sons of Horus can draw line of sight to the warlord or his unit. So as I said, very good friends with the Sons of Horus, or they were. In addition, they can make the death dealers. Oh god. Okay. In addition, the warlord and any unit they joined may make the death dealers reaction from the Sons of Horus without expending a point from your reaction allotment, and they count as all models that unit that have the Legion Astartes rule count as having Sons of Horus special rule instead. This advanced reaction may still only be used once per battle. Okay, that's actually pretty good. So
you get a free advanced
reaction? So the warlord and his unit ignore morale checks as long as there's a Sons of Horus unit that you can see, and you gain their advanced reaction in addition. You don't lose the White Scar advanced reaction.
No.
You just count as having keyword Sons of Horus.
Do you know what the Death Dealers one does? I might have to look it up.
I think Death Dealers one is where you get shot and then you charge them. Or no, I think is that the one where they? Oh goodness, I don't actually know.
I'll get it.
Yeah, go grab that real quick.
I'll grab the book.
It's right around the corner, so Jack will be right back with that. See, this is a bad influence because the Sons of Horus are one of my favorite traitor legions, and it's not that I would hate having an excuse to paint them up, but I would not mind having an excuse to paint up some Sons of Horus, actually.
Speaking of excuses,
just a little allied detachment, just a little one.
Speaking of excuses, I took any excuse to put the Liber Hereticus on stream.
Ugh, disgusting.
I shall find out. All right, Sons of Horus.
Yes.
There we go. Death Dealers. During an enemy shooting phase, when it declares a shooting attack, before the enemy unit resolves any to hit rolls, if it's within 12 inches of a unit. So if they're within 12 inches of you when they shoot at you, before they resolve any hit rolls, the reacting unit may make a shooting attack targeting the unit that triggered this reaction, increasing its ballistic skill by 1 for the duration of the reaction.
Okay. Did you say including increasing ballistic skill?
Yeah, so you fire back better before they get to shoot you at all.
Well, that seems a little silly.
Yep. It's basically like Overwatch because you can't fire indirect. You can't, and you can only fire Wall of Death. You can only fire templates as Wall of Death.
Got it. Yeah.
But if you kill enemy models out of the unit before they get to shoot at you, they still get to fire.
Okay, so basically you both shoot with no casualties pulled, then you both pull casualties.
Yes.
Kind of works.
Yeah.
Got it.
But that's very strong to get to do that for free.
Yeah. Ronnie D, to answer your question, yes, we will go over the White Scars units in the PDF as well. I have that pulled up. So when I'm done with the book, we'll go through the PDF. All right.
So that seems really cool, and if you are building to that part of the fluff, I definitely include that.
Yeah, that warlord trait seems like that's probably the best one. I actually didn't read it my first pass. I'm like, obviously, I am too loyal to know what this does. However, that is really good.
Ah, are you feeling the pull of the traitor?
No. Maybe.
Yes.
All right. Let's go over some rights of war. So we've got 2 rights of war for White Scars. First is Chigorian Brotherhood. This is a very typical, like, gotta go fast.
Right.
So if you take this, then all Skyhunter squadrons and Legion Outrider squadrons can be selected as troops and gain line. So you get fast units as line, which is something I like. You remember how we were talking about having like 3-man idiot bike squads that like would go do objective things late game?
Yes. It's back. No.
Yep. Is Jack wearing the violence shirt from that game the other day?
I am wearing the violence shirt.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I did not have a game this week, so the violence shirt went unused.
Yeah, but soon.
Soon.
Very
Well, soon.
I'm sure next week Jack will find someone to inflict violence on.
Also, I think
Maybe I should borrow the shirt to inflict a little violence of my own this week.
you inflicted enough violence, my man.
I did not.
What do you mean you did not? You brutalized the poor
I
guy.
am never sated. Here we go. So you can also include Skyhunters and Legion Outrider squads as elites, but they do not gain line. So if you run out of troop slots, you can put even more Skyhunters and Legion and Outriders into elites. In addition to them still being a fast attack choice, you can just take so many bikes in this rite of war, and everyone who's infantry gains outflank. So the limits, and there are a few, is that you cannot. So let's see, infantry in this rite of war that does not begin to play embarked on a transport must begin to play in reserves. So, and any models with the vehicle subtype without either the transport or fast subtype. So basically the only thing you can start on the board is fast, is non-infantry, so like bikers and jet bikes and like cavalry, and then transports and fast vehicles. Anything else has to go in reserves.
Okay.
So
it doesn't say you can't take them.
Doesn't say you can't take them, but you may not include any heavy support or fortification choices unless those are entirely composed of models with the flyer subtype.
Ah, so you can't.
You really can't. You're really not taking
the big guns. You probably don't want to include Chigorian Brotherhood with Forgotten Sons.
No,
because
probably not.
You're probably not including anything that's worth really including that shooting attack.
This is basically you take Born to the Saddle, because with Legion Outriders as troops and some pretty heavy restrictions, you're gonna want them.
Yeah, and I imagine that's what you're going to be playing because it's a lot of fun, a lot of fast boys.
I do like fun,
but
fast boys.
Let's see what's in the Sagyar Mazan.
The Sagyar Mazan, these are those dirty traitors who were welcomed back to the fold for exactly one purpose.
Don't like them.
Dying for the Emperor. Come on, Jack, you should appreciate that. So, honestly, the bonuses of this are actually pretty wild. So, Edon Keshig gain troops, but not line.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, not line, but you can take them as troops. All units composed entirely of infantry must be given the Koresh rule and Feel No Pain 5-up.
They must be given Feel No Pain.
They must be given a 5-up Feel No Pain.
What is Karash?
So, you would think that Karash is something about, like, not scoring, like, points, right?
Oh, God.
You would think that, right?
Stop, John.
No, it's exactly what it is. So, no enemy player may ever score any victory points for the destruction of this unit. I can only join a Karash unit to another Karash unit, but since every single infantry has Karash, that's probably not going to be a problem.
So they don't count for killing.
No, they wanted to die, you see. I get, it's basically a draw if I die, you see. So, you just don't give up kill points. With infantry
units, all infantry units get Karash.
5-up Feel No Pain and Karash.
So if you're playing a kill points mission,
just immediate victory, hilarious victory.
Well, as long as you kill anything.
Yeah. And finally the army. So anything with Karash, which is the infantry, gain fearless in any turn in which they complete a charge.
Okay.
So if I charge, I'm fearless. Because, why would I care if I charge you and die? That's the whole point.
Yeah.
So, pretty good rules there.
It seems good.
What are the
limitations?
One might expect some limitations.
I mean, it's only fair.
So, I may not choose to place any units in reserves. So, I cannot perform a deep strike assault. I cannot perform a subterranean assault or a flanking assault. Just everyone's on the table. The whole point is to be a distraction. I'm not distracting people if I'm not on the table. Okay. Second, I may not include any heavy supports that are not entirely infantry, and I cannot take any fortifications or primarchs. Khan no longer friends with these guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we're done here. So this sounds really good because your infantry do get awesome. 5 Feel No Pain on all your infantry is great.
Yeah.
Taking Ebon Keshigs as troops is awesome, but funny enough, they're not line, and they already have Feel No Pain 5-up and Karash, so they only gain the benefit of troops. They don't actually gain the benefit of detachment.
It turns your other infantry into Ebon Keshig, basically.
Yes, where Ebon Keshig actually get less of a benefit, even though this is the Ebon Keshig Rite of War, weirdly enough. Also, it only affects infantry, which means that you don't do much interesting stuff with bikes.
And that's what you're about.
And that's what you're about. So it's...
Well, that's what you're about.
That's what I'm about. So it is a ton of really powerful rules, but they're stacked kind of against the White Scar playstyle, which doesn't mean that it's bad. It looks really fun. If I run a bunch of infantry, I would totally run Sagyar Mazan, because that sounds super fun. Plus, it'd be fun to paint a little bit of black just to break up the white and red paint schemes, because those 3 colors all look good together.
Yeah.
So I'm probably down to try this sometime, but I think it's like when I first read it, I'm like, oh my god, all my infantry gain a 5-up Feel No Pain. But like, I don't know how much it's gonna matter.
I mean, 5-up Feel No Pain
pretty good.
Is not
it's pretty
bad.
good.
Let's just circle back around to that.
And let's also talk about the fact that there is a mission where the points are kill each other.
Yeah, that might be a little cheesy though. So
it might be a little cheesy. So we'll probably avoid that one. But I don't know. Both Rites of War are actually pretty interesting. I still think I like Chagorian Brotherhood better because I just like going fast.
The Chagorian Betterhood.
Chagorian Betterhood. All right, let's go through the armory real quick. So White Scars get a couple of unique options, same as everyone else. The Shamshir jet bike is pretty similar to a normal jet bike. Honestly, it comes with a scatterbolt launcher, which we'll cover in a second. And anytime you run, you gain Shrouded 5-up,
which is basically a Feel No Pain.
Basically a Feel No Pain against shooting attacks for your jet bikes. Pretty awesome. And then anyone who selects this as an upgrade changes their type to Cavalry Anti-Grav, and change their movement characteristic to 15, which includes the +1 given.
And gain firing protocols too. That means they can fire both 2 weapons.
Yeah, it means they can fire their scatterbolt launcher and whatever they're holding.
Okay.
And then they get Hammer of Wrath 1, and it improves their armor save to 2+ if it was worse than that before. So the Shamshir jet bikes have a pretty good save.
Yeah,
where normal jet bikes keep at a 3-up save. This gives you a 2-up save, and you get the scatterbolt launcher. Speaking of, a scatterbolt launcher is a template weapon.
What?
It's Strength 5, AP 4, Assault 1, Shred, and Pinning.
Well, that is going to really mess up the day of a lot of guardsmen.
And that is very good on someone who moves 15 inches and gets to place that template down.
Yeah, it's basically like a shotgun.
Yeah,
like a big grape shot.
Perhaps I am riding the shotgun.
You're firing canister, boys.
I'm riding the shotgun, Jack. It's all grape shot today.
It's a little too suggestive for me.
Okay. Next up is the Powerglave, which is what the Ebon Keshig carry, and you can give to your characters. So anyone with character and White Scar can be given a power weapon upgraded to a Powerglave for +5 points. It just +1 strength, AP 3, melee, and breaching 5+.
Okay, so a power sword, I believe, is strength user, AP 3, breaching 6+.
Yes.
So this turns it from breaching 6+ to breaching 5+, gives
and
you
+1
strength.
So very
5 points. That is a
good
bargain.
Upgrade. Yeah, Powerglaves are awesome. I fully expect that I will be taking Powerglaves in every situation.
Okay, now all right. So John was making a Custodes boy for WTC.
Maybe.
And he's literally putting eagles on the hands of these Custodes guys. They're literally putting Cyberhawks on his 40k models, not even in White Scars. So you know he loves the Cyberhawk.
I love birds. I love 40k models with birds. I like Kodiaz. I like Khan. I like Anzuk. If they can take a bird, I'd take a bird.
Okay.
So I can take a Cyberhawk. Any model with White Scars and independent character that does not have the unique subtype may take a Cyberhawk for 10 points. So I just need you to know that every single character I have is 10 points more expensive.
The Kakas are gonna roll in.
I like Cyberhawks. So at the start of any turn in which the controlling player is the active player, a model with Cyberhawk may select one enemy unit with at least one model within 24 inches. When making a shooting attack against that unit, the model with the Cyberhawk and all models in the unit they have joined may reroll failed hit rolls of 1, and when declaring a charge targeting the chosen enemy unit, the model with Cyberhawk and any unit is joined add a +1 to their charge roll.
That is pretty decent.
So there aren't a lot of rerolling ones. There just aren't that many. And unfortunately, I wish that the rerolling hits was shooting and combat, but I will take an extra +1 to charge considering that like Shamshir jet bike, I think with movement 15, I believe is +3 to charge. And so if I have a character with the Cyberhawk, I will be +4 to charge.
Yeah.
That is what I want.
It does not say it's one use only, but it does kind of imply that it's one use only. At the start of any turn in which the controlling player... It doesn't say it's one use only. It's hard to say for sure.
I didn't think it was. It just says at the start of any turn, I may select one unit within 24 inches.
Yeah, the start of any turn is usually the start of the turn, but...
Yeah, I think it's because there's weird 7th edition wording on which turn is which. So it's the start of any turn in which the controlling player is the active player. This is an entire sentence of at the start of your turn. That is 3 times as many words to say during your turn.
There are some benefits to 9th edition, that's all I'm going to say.
There are some, but I still like this.
All
so,
right.
Birds on everyone.
Birds seem good.
Next up, Legion Consularis upgrade is the Storm Seer. So the Storm Seer is the White Scar Librarian. That's what they call it. It's kind of like Rune Priest for White Scars. And so if you upgrade to a Storm Seer for 45 points, not cheap.
That is expensive, but let's
not
see
cheap,
what you get for
but it is pretty good. You gain Psyker, and you can select one of the following psychic disciplines. Either Storm's Fury, which is the White Scar one, Divination, Telepathy, or Thaumaturgy. You also gain Adamantium Will 4+.
Which is stops powers that target your unit on a 4+. Seems good.
Solid. And then a Storm Seer may replace a power weapon, bolt pistol, or combi bolter with a force weapon at no additional cost, and then may get a psychic hood for +15 points.
Okay.
So, librarian options.
I believe Libby gets a psychic hood too if you want to pay for it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So you basically get access to... The only real unique thing is that the Storm Seer gets access to 2 powers from the Storm's Fury discipline. So first up is Unseen Bolt. It is 72-inch range, just in case you were curious.
It is also Large Blast.
Yep, so it's Strength 4, AP 4, Heavy 1. So that means that if he's moving, he's not really shooting it. Large Blast 5-inch, so Barrage. Oh, does that mean he doesn't even need line of sight? That's awesome. Shock Pulse and Force.
Well, it is. He's literally calling a bolt of lightning out of the sky onto the battlefield.
Yeah.
Which is just the dopest thing ever. I think Shock Pulse is if a vehicle is like wounded by it, they only snap shoot for the next turn. I think it's something like that.
So here's how it works. This is the unbuffed version. I can just call this down. If I want to take a psychic test first, I double the strength. And I go to strength 8. And that's what I like. Yeah, I love calling in strength 8 barrage, large blasts on characters. Jack, that is just what I love.
I don't believe it targets the character if it hits.
It doesn't, but I remember it from 7th, and I want to do it now.
That would really wreck people in 7th.
Yeah, it would.
It is pinning. Or no, it's not pinning.
It's not pinning.
I think barrage gets pinning. Something like that.
Shock, Pulse, and Force. So good against demons. Just a good bonk to drop on people, especially if they're running large squads. And then, of course, if you fail the check, you take Perils of the Warp. And you continue to resolve the attack if you survive. So you still call them the Strength 4 version, even if you fail. If you fail, you just take Perils.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of electric.
Yeah, a little and then donk.
Yeah. Then we've got Call of the Wind. Instead of moving in the movement phase, so one of them is a heavy, and one of them is instead of moving. So
this guy's standing still.
This guy's holding still, probably. A Psyker with a Psychic Power may grant the Fleet 2 special rule to all friendly units with at least one model within 6 inches of the Psyker. Fleet 2.
What does Fleet do?
I think Fleet is just adding to your... is it adding to your charge or to your movement?
Maybe it's adding if you advance.
No, it used to be advance.
Run.
Yeah, your runs. I believe it's now just adding to your charge.
That seems good.
Yeah. And then if I choose to take a psychic test, I'd say gain Fleet 4. Is Fleet in here?
It might be in the
I think it's in the
USRs.
generic. I will
grab
All right, give me these books, Jack. What's up, Sindri Tepek? Thank you for joining us in the chat today. Man, I remember reading Fleet and being like, this is awesome, and I want Fleet 4, because Fleet 4 sounds amazing. All right, as soon as Jack's back, we'll talk about the great Coggin. All right, Jack, give me the good news. Tell me how fast I get to go. Because all that I want is to go fast. Fun story.
Oh, I cut right to Fleet.
Oh, that is extremely convenient.
Like, literally right to Fleet. Gain a bonus to all run moves. Any distance moved as part of reaction. A modifier to all rolls made to determine charge distance equal to the value in brackets. So it's runs, reaction moves, and charges.
Okay, so if I'm Fleet 4, then it's a 6-inch aura of +4 charge.
And +4 run.
And +4 run if I choose to run.
And +4 move during a reaction. But you have to stand still.
He has to stand still, and that means it's going to be tricky. Because I have to still be within 6 inches of him when I am charging to get Fleet 4.
Yes.
Special rule lasts... Oh no, until the beginning of the controlling player's next turn. Nope, I do not. So if he holds still, the wind just howls and gives everyone within 6 Fleet 2 or 4 until my next turn. So they just have to be within 6 in the movement phase when I do the Psychic Power.
Yep.
That's...
I mean, there's a reason it's 45 points.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. I still like my Dabblist.
I'm sure you
with
do.
Hellfire or whatever. Mm-hmm. But damn, that boy's...
He's slow. Everybody else fast.
Yeah, that's the game plan.
Neum. I'll put him on a bike so that I can, like, turn 1, drive him somewhere, and then turn 2, be like, now I'm still. Boop. All right. So, let's keep going right down the line. We're getting to the Primarch.
The Khan.
Jagged Eye Khan. I'm so excited. I'm going to get Khan commission painted, I think. I already talked to someone, so I've got it set up for September, I think. I'm going to ship him Khan. He's going to ship it back. I cannot wait.
You got the Khan afoot and the Khan mounted. All
right. So, of course, Khan is fast, but he could ride a bike, and then he would move 18 inches.
Yeah.
He would be fast.
That is very fast.
So, Khan is a normal Primarch in that he is pretty good in combat. He's got rules that you'd expect. He has
a Sojutsu pattern void bike.
He does. That's,
Sojutsu.
Yeah, it's giga fast.
Yeah.
That's what it means in Shigoran. So he has hit and run, which I actually really like. Crusader, of course, Pathfinder, move through cover. Lightning from Blue Skies. That one's fun. Come on. White Scars get good names. And the Sire of the White Scars. So that, of course, is his Warlord trait. He's good in combat. He's initiative 8, 6 attacks, weapon skill 7. So he's a better than average combat Primarch, but he is not the best combat Primarch.
Well, because he moves 18 inches.
Yeah, well, he does. John. He does go fast. So imagine giving him Fleet 4. I am +7 to charge. Whee! So
he also advances at that point 28 inches.
He goes where he wants.
He fast,
though. We taking objectives now. All right, so...
I said we're taking objectives today.
Sire of the White Scars means all infantry and cavalry that in the same army as Khan, including Khan, gain Furious Charge 1, so +1 strength on the turn they charge. Very good.
Furious Charge also gives something else, I believe.
It used to give an initiative bonus. I thought that they changed that. Jack.
I am summoned to provide the USRs.
Yes. And also, you can make an additional reaction in movement phase. Love Furious Charge, because just going to Strength 5 just is +1 to wound in a Marine meta, where you're all Strength 4. And if you happen to be Strength 5 because you have a Powerglave, then you go to Strength 6, which is also +1 to wound. Furious Charge, kind of good.
Oh, here we go.
We need to start bookmarking this.
We really do. Furious Charge. Bonus to Strength. Just Strength.
Just Strength, okay.
Just Strength.
All right, still pretty good. So the Wildfire Panoply is his panoply.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
The Wildfire Panoply.
That's his armor. So he gives him a 2-up armor, 4-up invuln during the shooting phase, and he has a 3-up invulnerable save during the movement and assault phase. So good in combat. 3-up invuln in combat and movement phase. Go where I want to, Khan. That's exactly what he does. But 3-up invuln in combat. I love that.
Seems good.
Doesn't need to be 3-up invuln all the time, but that is good. So, Lightning from Blue Skies. Come on. That's
just read the rule, John.
Okay. When he's held in reserve, do not roll for Jagged Eye Khan or any unit he's considered to be a part of while in reserve. Instead, at the beginning of any of the controlling player's turns except the first, Jagged Eye Khan and any unit he has joined may be brought into play from reserves without making a reserves roll. If Khan is part of a flanking assault, then this rule applies to all units that are part of that flanking assault. So the whole thing shows up when I want it, no rolls needed.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, that's fluffy.
Yeah.
For sure.
And
does not apply to deep strike assault, drop pod assault, or subterranean assault.
Yeah, so just when Khan outflanks, they outflank real good. And all of his friends come along. Except the traders, we don't deal with this. Obviously.
Feels personal.
He has a pistol, Storm's Voice. It's 12-inch range, strength 6, AP4, pistol 2. It's rending 5+, definitely great. Concussive and mastercrafted. It's a good pistol.
It's a good pistol.
Concussive is nice.
Concussive's nice, definitely great. Rending 5+ means you're very likely to kill some guys.
Yeah. And then, of course, you have the White Tiger Dao, which is a melee weapon. So it's +1 strength, takes him to strength 7, but since he's Furious Charge, he's going to be strength 8.
Yep, Furious Charge 1.
So this is Furious Charge 2, taking him to strength 9. You don't get to stack Furious Charge.
Oh, you don't get to stack.
I don't think you get to stack Furious Charge 1 and Furious Charge 2. But Murder Strike on a 5+ and Mastercrafted.
So instant death on 5s is AP 2.
Strength 9.
It's Duelist's Edge
charge,
1,
yeah.
so he gets +1 initiative in a challenge.
So that'll take him to initiative 9, which is getting to Fulgrim territory.
It's true.
Initiative 9 is a point where you're like, okay, he's
probably pretty quick.
Khan should be pretty
Duelist's Edge is in these books, but
Okay.
I believe it's +1 initiative.
It
at
is.
least +1 initiative.
It's +1 initiative in combat.
Yeah.
Or in challenges.
And then Mastercrafter, which means
Yeah.
you can re-roll a hit.
Yep. And pretty
Seems
solid.
good. He's
And then he's
7.
weapon skill 7, which I honestly would have expected him to be a little bit weapon skill 8.
He only has 6 attacks. He's a decent duelist.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to cut his. He's not Angron. He's not cutting his way through units.
He is not Angron. Yeah, he's a good combat Primarch. He's not the best combat Primarch. But I like the flanking assault rules, and I like how freaking fast he is.
He's so freaking fast.
And of course, if you buy him a Sojutsu Pattern Void Bike, not only does he gain a wound, but also he gains a Sojutsu Pattern Void Bike. Who would have thought?
Seems good.
So he gets 2 Mastercrafted Heavy Bolters. He gets Hammer of Wrath 2, Firing Protocols 3.
So he fires his pistol and both heavy bolters.
Both Mastercrafted Heavy Bolters. Then he gets the Anti-Grav subtype. Then he can fall back 3d6 instead of 2d6, so for hit and run or fallback moves. So he can only be attached to units that include cavalry if he takes cavalry.
Or he can be by himself.
Or he could be by himself. Yeah, 30k Hero Hammer is very cool, but it is different from 40k.
Yes.
I don't think 30k characters... I don't know. 30k characters can get pretty crazy, but it's usually just name ones. You know, getting warlord traits in does not just make murder sticks the way 40k does.
Yeah, no, they definitely don't.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, getting into the units now. Got a couple unique units. We've got the Golden Keshig Squadron. So, this is the jet bike unit. So, they're all equipped with... I guess they just have golden Keshig jet bikes. They have the Legion
Shamshares.
Yeah. So 140 points for 3 is pretty pricey, and then 40 points for each additional. They're not cheap. 2 wounds
Nor
each.
should they be.
Only toughness 4, but a 2-up save.
So they're basically a 2-wound guy on foot toughness wise. We're used to +1 toughness coming from a bike.
Yeah, not in this edition.
30k. But they only have 1 attack apiece. Make that make sense, John.
Only 1 attack apiece is a little painful. If they had 2, though, they might be broken. So
yeah, they might be.
So with the Legion Shamshire jet bike, they of course come with their
the scatterbolt.
They come with the scatterbolt launcher. Then they have Artificer armor. Then they have the Kantos Power Lance. And the Kantos Power Lance is where all of the good stuff happens. So they have hit and run, really good at actually.
Seems pretty good. Yeah.
Relentless and Hammer of Wrath.
So they can shoot heavy weapons and they can charge.
Yep.
And they have Hammer of Wrath, which is dope, and they'll have Hammer of Wrath 2, or unless that doesn't stack. Might not stack.
I don't think it stacks.
I don't think anything stacks. Actually.
So anyone can replace their chain. So everyone also has a chainsword. Anyone can replace their chainsword for a power weapon or a charnable weapon, but they come with the power lance. So you're probably going to be using that most of the time. I don't think you're going to spend points on other weapons.
So the main thing is that they can't... Well, we'll get to the Kantos Power Lance. There is a reason you might purchase a second weapon to use.
There is. So, Kantos Power Lance. Ooh, buddy. It is a power weapon, obviously. And it's Strength 10, AP 1, Melee, Ungainly, Lance, Brutal 3, Sudden Strike 4, Two-Handed. So, a whole bunch of rules
That's
here.
A lot of rules.
So, if it's Ungainly, this is the only one that's specific to it. And that means that in a turn in which you successfully charge, you may only attack with this if you charged. And you do not gain a bonus attack for charging or any special rules that would normally grant attacks.
They get one
They
attack.
are one attack. But, from that point on, Strength 10, AP 1, Sudden Strike 4 means that they are +4 initiative on the charge. Which means when they charge, they're initiative 8. I said we striking first today.
Yeah, we're hitting you first on the charge, as they should be.
And they move 15. They move 15, so they are very fast. And with Brutal 3, every time I successfully wound, you basically have to take 3 saves. But it doesn't spill over to other models.
Yeah.
So you just you hit someone with the lance really hard. And then Sudden Strike, we've already covered. 200, we've already covered.
If you wound them, they have to take 3 saves.
Correct.
At AP 1, Strength 10.
Strength 10. So you really, every time you wound, your opponent's going to fail the saves, what that means.
And it's instant death almost all the time.
Almost all the time. So incredibly hard hitting, not very many attacks. 140 points to go in with 4 attacks, no rerolls.
But every hit is a dead guy, or basically like a dead vehicle almost.
And their weapon skill 5, which is good, but as soon as you start hitting other elite units and you start hitting on 4s,
yeah, those 4
it's like,
attacks is gonna
4 attacks hitting on 4s is like, I hope I might kill 2 models.
Like, I've used more axes before.
Yeah.
They have 4 attacks. They hit on 4s. They don't do anything.
Yeah. So this is deadly. I would love to find a way to give this squad hatred. That's kind of what I want to do.
Yes, just
Just
reroll those.
Get like a chaplain equivalent on a bike and just get hatred in there.
Can you do that? Can you just...
Yeah, I was planning on it.
Okay.
I really want to.
They can be joined by anything, so that checks out.
Yep, they can be joined by anything. They're also going to be really good at killing like dreadnoughts and stuff like that.
Yeah, this unit is just a scalpel. It goes in, it deletes something.
It deletes something big. This is not very good at killing infantry.
No.
But for that, each one has a bolt launcher, so you can try to go into the scatter bolts and just do that. And yeah, Ayrton, 100%, we're getting chaplain with them. This unit's super expensive. The models are so good. So I can't justify not buying them because I love them. I need all the White Scar models. Then once I buy them, I have to paint them. And once I paint them, they've got to get on the table.
I think this is like one of the more flavorful units I've seen, because on the charge they hit really hard. But then as soon as they're not on the charge, they're not that scary.
They have a chainsword and 1 attack each.
Exactly.
It's like.
So they have 1 attack each and shred, and so when they get bogged down, they're really happy they've hit and run.
Yeah, you got to have hit and run to make this unit work.
Yes.
They're only initiative 4 only, although obviously they're really good on the charge, but for hit and run, it's a little trickier.
Yeah.
Next up is the Evon Keshig. These are the specific Terminators. They're a clean 40 points model, 200 points for 5, so it's just 40 points throughout. They don't get cheaper as you buy more, the way that the Golden Keshig and some other units do. They all just come with a Powerglave. But you can exchange your Powerglave for normal Terminator weapons. So for 5 extra points, you get Combi Bolter and a Power Weapon. It's 15 points for Combi Bolter and Power Fist. You can buy Magnet and Minor combat weapons, full kit chargers, all the normal things you'd expect on a Terminator. The important thing here is the rules. So they're T4, 2 wounds, 2 up save, as you'd expect. 3 attacks each. 3 attacks each is pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
They are Relentless, Bulky 2, as you'd expect. And then they are Koresh, Stubborn, 5 up Feel No Pain. So those last 3 are the ones that matter. So Leadership 10, Stubborn, they hang around. They don't pin easily. They don't fall back easily. They're not quite fearless, but they're about as good as you can get.
They just don't care.
There's not a lot of Leadership 10 in the game, but they don't care about dying.
They want to die.
Yeah. They're Koresh. They don't give up points, as we talked about before. They get a 5 of Feel No Pain.
I mean, if you get very lucky, one of them might break and like run away, but that is not likely to happen. You have to find the wrong Eben Keshig unit. Eben Keshig unit that isn't really feeling like dying.
Yeah, they're also Tartarus pattern, so their move 7 base, it already includes the White Scar plus 1 moves, their movement 8. Weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 4, so not any deadlier than you'd expect from a Terminator with a combat weapon, but 5 up Feel No Pain, Leadership 10, Stubborn, Koresh, and makes them pretty useful for 40 points each.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're not line, and there's no real way to give them line, but they are still a good bruiser unit. So I like Eben Keshig. They're a good tar pit as well.
Yeah.
Because 2 wounds, 5 up Feel No Pain. They're tankier than a normal Terminator, not really much more expensive.
Yeah, they're really annoying to deal with.
And yeah.
And the Tartarus gives them a 5 up invuln?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. So perfectly durable. Definitely for the points, they're quite durable. They'll still fold the dedicated anti-tank strength 8+, but like Terminators.
They're good bruisers, yeah.
Yeah, they're good bruisers for Terminators to go mix it up with other infantry. See, this is what I was talking about. What are half those words? Oh yeah, there's a lot of rules in here, but it's really fun to keep track of it. But Eben Keshig, love them. Again, good opportunity to paint up a different color scheme as well.
How about the
Heisigan
Assault Speeder Squadron?
Yep. So this is the last unique unit. So the Heisigan Assault Speeder Squadron is just their unique land speeder. So it's cavalry anti-grav. It's T7, 4 wounds, 3 up save. But I think that speeders are like awkwardly hard to kill in the game. What is Stubborn? Stubborn is ignore negative leadership modifiers.
Yeah.
So at leadership 10, ignore leadership modifiers, And you remember that in 30k, you roll leadership checks by rolling 2 dice and comparing to the leadership value.
Yeah, you have to roll 11.
You have to roll an 11 or 12, which is a 1 in 12 chance to fail a morale check. And it doesn't get worse than that because you're stubborn. So not fearless, but as close as you can get. So the Heisigan Assault Speeder Squadron. I actually think land speeders are pretty good because they're shockingly durable.
Difficult to kill.
They're very annoying to kill. So at T7, bolt guns and similar, and strength 4 and strength 5 wounds on 1/6s.
Yeah, because they're cavalry. They're not vehicles.
They're cavalry, so they're not vehicles. They're just fast moving. They move 15. They're gun platforms, so they're not really going to be mixing up in combat that often. And at move 15, I feel like it's going to be pretty easy to keep them out of charge range and just kind of plink shots. And then you need dedicated anti-tank to kill them. But then, like, with las cannons and stuff, you need to get 4 wounds on them because they're just 4 wounds. So it's like, I feel like the Heisigan Assault Speeders are actually pretty good. So they have, power armor, all the things you'd expect. They have deep strike, they have relentless, they have firing protocols 4, a very good number because they have 4 guns. And then they have outflank Harbingers of the Legion and hit and run. I don't know what Harbingers of the Legion does. Let's find out.
I think that's all the way in the front.
Yep. Where are my special rules? Nope. We went too far. All right. Where is this? Harbingers of the Legion.
It should be before this because this is the war gear, and then you want rules.
I want my rules.
Torsion Crusher.
Oop,
Here we go.
Harbingers of the Legion. A model, any unit that includes any models of the special rule may not join or be joined by any model that does not also have the special rule. Okay. So.
In addition, they never count as a scoring or denial unit.
Oh, okay.
However, they may reroll all failed shrouded damage mitigation rolls.
That's pretty good. So when they advance, they get a 5-up rerollable feel no pain. Oh, that's gonna be really annoying to kill.
He said, knowing that he's not going to have to play against this.
Well, that's
to be fair. I think a lot of jet bikes have that.
Yeah,
or not a lot of jet bikes. A lot of
bike units. Yeah,
a lot of speeders.
Good to know. Yeah, still that
But you're the one that gets shrouded, so
I like that. That's pretty good. But never a scoring unit is interesting. Okay. So, yep. So basically, just warrior wise, they come with a carries assault cannon, 2 Reaper autocannons, and a bolt pistol. So it's a lot of AP4, but there's some rending attached to it, and it's just a lot of shots. And at strength 6 and strength 7, they're both 6 skill 4, but they can just zip around the table pretty easily and just be like, okay, here's a bunch of shots, take some saves.
Yeah. They're 105, so they're just a great harrying unit.
Yeah, and you can take 200 killer missiles if you want for 5 points each. Nothing like super fancy about it. They don't have any real like unique special rules, but hit and run is nice to get out of combat if you get charged. Outflank is always useful. Deep strike, like you can go into reserves if you need to, but they're also just a fast-moving unit with decent weight of fire guns. Saying that our volume's a little bit low. We'll see if we can boost it up just a little bit for you. We'll also bring that mic a little bit closer. All right. So, yeah, I have 2 of these. I actually really like these. It's just a good harrying unit to kind of go harass infantry.
Yeah.
Because you have to have some weirdly dedicated anti-tank from range to take them out.
Yeah, and the Curious Assault Cannon and 2 Reaper autocannons, I believe, are all AP4.
All AP4. So it's just going to be forcing armor saves.
Yeah, so if you are guardsmen or whatnot.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
Very quick.
As soon as
There's
Adamek demons.
There's a lot of weapons in this game that are like AP4, and we're looking at that being like, all right, that bounced off 3 up armor. But as soon as guard come out, all of those weapons are going to just sink in.
Yeah, or demons are going to be relatively soon. We don't know what the save characteristic of Mechanicum will be. We're just kind of assuming that guard are not going to be 3-up saves. Or Solar Auxilia. Seems reasonable. We'll find out soon. All right, we have one last named character for the White Scars in the book, and that is Kinsa, the Master of the Keshig, chosen of the Kagan. So he is at 220 points. He is a kind of expensive Terminator character.
He is.
He comes in Tartaros armor. He's 4 wounds, T4, 2 up armor save, initiative 6, 5 attacks, weapon skill 6, moves 8. A good, just a generically good
a lot
Terminator
of
character.
rules.
He has a ton of special rules. So he's White Scars, independent character, Master of the Legion, all standard so far. Counterattack 2, so he gets bonuses when he gets charged. Nice. Furious Charge 1, bulky, relentless, stubborn, Master of the Keshig, so that's his specific rule, and then Warlord, chosen of the Kagan, and Loyalist. So mainly that's counterattack 2, Furious Charge, and then Master of the Keshig and stubborn. All good things to add.
Yeah.
So if he's the Warlord, he has the chosen of the Kagan Warlord trait and can't take anyone else. So If he's your army once per battle, the controlling player may choose to either bring a single eligible friendly unit or a group of friendly units assigned to a deep strike assault or a flanking assault into play from reserves automatically instead of rolling, or have to remain in reserves for that turn.
So you can choose when you bring them in.
Yep. So once per turn, you can choose not to roll. You either bring them in without rolling, or you don't bring them in. You get to choose. And this may not be used to bring a unit.
This is once per battle.
Once per battle. Cannot normally be made for them. Okay. And you can make an additional reaction in the assault phase. So basically, if you want to put something in reserves, turn 2 you normally roll to find out. You can either say, I'm not rolling, it's coming in, or I'm not rolling, it's not coming in. And then turn 3, if you decide not to come in, you still have to roll turn 3. So that doesn't guarantee that you come in turn 3, but it is an element of like, oh, step on the brakes. Let's hold off the reserves for one more turn, or screw it, the time is now, let's go.
Yeah.
So not a bad warlord trade if you're going to go reserve heavy. Next up, you've got the Master of the Keshig. And if Kinsa is selected as the leader of a Tartarus command squad, then they can all be given Powerglaves for 5 points each. So you can basically turn a Tartarus command squad into a mini Evon Keshig squad, but they're not going to have the 5 foot field. You're not gonna have
rules. They count
but
for killing.
Getting Powerglaves is good.
Yeah.
That's basically it. Finally, he has the Tail of the Dragon. So the Tails of the Dragon are 2 swords. They are separate but identical, and he can either wield them as 2 power swords to part the horse's mane, or he can combine them to split the mountain.
Bro,
come on, you actually love those names and you know it.
This is so weeby. All right, continue.
So if you split the mountain, you are +3 strength, which combined with this furious charge makes him strength 8 on the charge, and it's AP2 melee unwieldy mastercrafted. Or you don't, and you are +1 strength, so you go to strength 6 with furious charge. AP2 melee precision strikes 3 plus mastercrafted. So you basically either get +2 strength and unwieldy, or you get precision strikes 3 plus. Precision strikes is pretty darn good.
It is.
Because with weapon skill 6, that's usually just going to be he hits on F3, all of his hits are precision strikes, he allocates.
Yeah, the ability to go to strength 8 AP2 is a big deal.
Yep.
But having to swing at initiative 1, well, that's good.
Well, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah, so I think Kinza's a little overpriced at 220.
Probably, but
he does help a lot. He's really cool, and I already bought the model because I love him.
I see the model where I'm sitting right now.
Yep, he's right up there on the shelf, awaiting a little more paint. But he is going to be really good if you're specifically building around a reserve heavy list. If that's what you're going for reserves, then Kinza's going to help a lot.
All right.
That's it for units in the book. Real quick though, some people had already asked in the chat for us to go over some of the downloads, so I already have that pulled up. So
I wonder if there's some in here for
word bearers.
Word bearers.
We would have to look. I would have to check. So
there are a lot of word bearer units in the main book, though.
Yeah. So there are there's a couple things here. I think there's 2. So Falcon's Claws is a unit, which is possibly one of the weirdest units I've seen. So Falcon's Claws are move 9, a little bit faster than normal. That includes the White Scar bonus. Their normal move 8 would go to move 9 with White Scars. They have Scout Armor. 2 lightning claws.
What?
Yeah, they're just scout armor and 2 lightning claws. And they get outflank, move through cover, precision strikes 5+ and marked for death. So a whole bunch of stuff in here. It's a very cheap 95 points for 5 models where everyone has 2 lightning claws is pretty good.
It's pretty good, but as soon as you take this, your opponent's going to be like, I have all these weapons, they're just relying on you rolling your armor save because they're AP4. Dead.
Yeah, there's so many like AP4 weapons. I'm just like, oh, this is gone. So you can take a Cyberhawk on champion. So obviously I have to take that. You can take Melty Bombs. Clearly. Really good. And I think just outflanking a couple of these to like come in on a dedicated turn and be like, surprise, we charge now, and just charge people with a bunch of Falcon's Claws is really good.
Yeah, Lightning Claws are good.
Lightning Claws are amazing.
Yes.
In Heresy. So I think these are really strong, but they're super weird.
Yeah.
It feels a little skewy as a it feels a little bit skewy as a unit.
You know, it's like hey, sometimes
so it also looks really fun. And modeling a bunch of scouts with double lightning claws does bring a smile
also
to my
precision strikes on these guys is
on a
like
5+. That's a lot of
attacks that you get to allocate.
Yeah, that's gonna really hurt. Then you have a named character, Salman Khan. So Salman Khan is he's just move 8. So has a combi melta, Tianzhan, which I assume is a special weapon, artificer armor, everything you'd expect. Magical Legion, Relentless, ally of the Silent Order. Ooh, that sounds like a Sister of Silence reference. Let's find out. And he is Loyalist. And he can take a Scimitar Jetbike for 30 points. So, ally of the Silent Order is exactly what I thought it was. A detachment that includes Solomon Khan may include a single Knight Centura as a non-compulsory HQ choice without taking up a Force Organization slot. And a Raptora Cadre may be taken as a retinue for a Knight Centura included in this way. See Library Imperium. That sounds cool. Oh, and you're treated as Sworn Brothers with the Sisters of Silence. I feel like they should have changed the name on that. We don't know what that does because we don't know what Sisters of Silence do yet. It says see Library Imperium, and I'm looking, but I do not see.
I don't see one.
I don't see Library Imperium. So cool, fluffy, but don't really know to the full extent how much that matters yet. Then you've got
Tianzhan.
Yep. So Tianzhan is a power weapon, and it is melee, strength 10, AP 2, unwieldy, brutal 2, reaping blow 1, and a hammer hand. Hammer hand is a unique rule. I don't actually know what reaping blow 1 does.
No, me neither.
And then during any fight phase, Solomon Khan's controlling player may choose to have Solomon Khan make a single attack at initiative step 10 with the profile below instead of attacking it normally. And when you do that, you don't get to use a bonus attack for charging additional weapons, etc. So if I want, instead of making my normal 4 attacks, or 5 in the charge, I can make 1 attack at initiative 10, strength 12, AP 2, melee, brutal 3.
Mm?
So it's only 1 attack, but if you get into a duel with Solomon Khan, he may just be like, all right, hope I get a hit roll, because if I do, you're flattened.
Reaping blow. If a model is in base contact with more than one enemy model in the initiative step in which they fight, they gain a number of attacks equal to the value X noted in the special rule.
So basically, Solomon Khan steps in. He's friends with Sisters of Battle.
Yep.
And he swings a giant hammer. Giant hammer. I mean, strength 10, AP 2, brutal 2.
So, yeah.
Unwieldy, but still that hits.
Yeah, reaping blows, he gets +1 attack if he's base contact with 2 models.
So he just swings the hammer around in a circle.
Yeah.
And then if you get into a challenge with him, he's like, all right, initiative 10, here's the strength 12 bomb. He only makes 1 attack at that profile. So if you miss, that's going to not be fun.
But
if it hits, strength 12, brutal 3,
Get
AP 2, that's going to instant death a lot of people.
Yeah,
and
Primarchs will shrug it off, but that's about it.
Yeah, this guy bounces off a Primarch. But any other character that gets in with Solomon Khan, he's like, all right, psych, thunk.
How is he initiative 10?
It's just, he's just...
Like, what's the fluff behind that?
He's really good with his hammer.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what you want me to say here.
He's just a big hammer boy.
Yeah, so, I mean...
So he just has the Trumpiest Trump of all time in
yeah, that's why he's
challenges.
He's 180 points for a dude walking around in Artificer armor. So, he ain't cheap.
But in challenges, cool. He's just like, no.
Yeah, he's just a praetor that walks around and when he gets in challenge with other characters, he's like, absolutely not. Thunk.
And maybe kills you.
He's got
and maybe doesn't.
Decent odds, but if you like rolling 1 dice at a time, boy, do I have a character for you. Or Lightning Claws 40k, an extra attack with each. So if you have 2 Lightning Claws, you get 1 extra attack.
And you get 1 for charging.
And then you get 1 for charging.
3 attacks on the charge.
So the Falcon Claws are 1 attack each, but they'll be 3 on the charge because an extra for Lightning Claw, extra for charging. So once this unit starts putting out, on the charge, 5 of them puts out 16 attacks with Precision Blows, 5 up, and Shred, of course.
Yep, Shred.
That's really good at killing Marines.
They are good when they get into combat, yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's the champ at Whack-A-Mole, 100%. This man...
He's swinging the big hammer.
Have you ever played Whack-A-Heretic? Would you like to?
No.
No?
Stop. No!
All right. So, thank you so much for watching, everyone. We really appreciate your support. So, here's where we're at. So, we're done with this video. We're just about done with the White Scars, but we're going to have a lot more content coming your way. Let us know what you're excited for and what you enjoy the most and what you want to see. Ayrton is saying that 2 Lightning Claws is +2 attacks.
I think that does sound right, actually.
Oh, that's deadly.
That does ring a bell.
Is that a Lightning Claw roll?
I think it's a Lightning Claw roll.
Oh, that's all right. If it's +2 attacks, then these things hit crazy hard, and I'm just gonna outflank 30 of them into Jack's army. Whee!
Yep. When a model has 2 Lightning Claws, it gains +2 attacks instead of +1.
Oh, that's so many attacks.
So they have 4 each.
Falcon Claws are. That's crazy. I
think they die really fast, but they hit really hard.
Yikes. All right. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this 30K content, let us know what you like, what you want to see. And you can check out our 40K content as well, where you can find a bunch of stuff on our website, theartofwar40k.com, as well as right here in the War Room, or as being a YouTube member of the channel. So if you want to check out high-quality 40K content, make sure you check out our global community in the War Room. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. We'll send you off with a commercial for that War Room, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye-bye.
There's so many rules in 40K, hundreds of events, and constant updates. Skip the learning curve of Warhammer and join the pros. Art of War is led by multiple world champions with decades of success. We teach clinics, stream games, and inspire you to succeed at your favorite hobby. Join our global community of gamers just like you.